hate dating in Houston. I hate dating in Houston.
Let me just tell y'all about dating in Houston. First of all, if you know what's good for you, don't do it.
When people start telling me why am I single, I'm just gonna be like, I live in Houston. I live in Houston. That's the answer, baby.
It's been a while since we've heard from our friend Isaiah in Houston. As a matter of fact, it was precisely 22 months ago where he was having this conversation that we remember him from.
But really quick, for those who may say this is just a form of prostitution, you're going to different countries to pay and to have sex with women. You're not truly having a relationship with them.
What's interesting about looking back on that conversation was that he was avoiding a conversation that needed to be had then, but now he has no choice but to address because everyone in his city is talking about it.
Amen, Zach here. Welcome and thank you for joining us for the second half hour of The Factor Uncensored. And apparently we're broadcasting live from one of the worst cities for dating in America. That's according to a new study. Houston holds a number 8 spot for one of the worst dating scenes. We found some folk who will talk about this problem or alleged problem here in the city of Houston.
You do know, though, Austin, there are American women who will cook for you if you're deserving of that meal.
Well, okay, so that's the problem, though. What is deserving?
Meaning you're a good husband. You bring home the bacon, and they're bringing home the bacon together.
But I think there's just so many options these days, and people want their cake and eat it too, and that's all it really is about. And I feel like relationships should be easy. Either you want to be all in or you don't. It's one or the other, but people play games, and I feel like it really is a lot of that.
Have you had a bad experience here in Houston or some bad experiences?
I've had several, but luckily I know the playbook. That's the problem with guys these days. They're giving away the playbook, so I already know what it is up front.
All right.
Yeah.
It's interesting hearing this particular conversation because she's essentially talking about dating as if it's some kind of spectator sport or a sport in general. And for more and more guys that are either not actively participating in the dating scene or just watching it from the sideline, there's nothing romantic about young ladies learning how to date. It is supposed to be something very organic, something that used to happen when average guy meets average girl, they fall in love and they spend time together.
Were we supposed to settle down with poor and stupid men then? Is that what we're supposed to do? Marry for a worse life?
I just feel like sex is happening too soon. I feel like people aren't taking the time to get to know each other. I feel like there's too many social media apps. Some people can't handle them.
So y'all don't want the sex too soon?
Yes, we do. We do not want
okay.
sex too soon.
Honesty. And I respect the honesty. Exactly.
All right, Sharice, let's hear from you. Your thoughts about it?
I think it's 3 things. The situationships. I think people are more comfortable being in situationships. Not a lot of people are searching for relationships. Then, not to blame social media or Instagram, but it does play a part because that's like you say, like a Christian mingle. It's like a dating app. Most people are meeting people on Instagram. Mm-hmm. And so when you do that, it starts off with a like, then the hearts, then the DM, and then you meet them, and they're not who they're supposed to be. You know what I'm saying? They dirty. They don't have nothing going for themselves.
It's funny listening to the conversation of the last gentleman and this young lady because what they're basically saying is that the people that are quote unquote dating are really just kind of sort of hooking up.
But there are men that are enjoying the difference of the culture and programming of women in a different country.
Do you think this gives the movement a bad name, the passport bros a bad name, if your sole purpose is for sex tourism and prostitution?
Yeah, they dirty. They don't have a window, pot, they don't have nothing going for themselves. So it's just, window throwing out, it's just a waste of time. And then you have people who are in a relationship and there's a lot of cheating going on. Back in the day, it used to be like, you give your number, you tell them you in a relationship, and they'd be like, okay, well, lucky man or something like that. Now it's like, well, I can be your friend, or call me when he gets you, upset or whatever, when y'all get into it or whatever. So I think all of those play a part.
I find TikTok fascinating because it is a window into the modern young person's and, dare I say, young women's lifestyle and emotional well-being, because in a time where women have the freedom to not only be with who they choose to romantically in any way they want to, and not only do that, but avoid pregnancy and also pursue a career. And this is all in addition to having a phone with dozens of options of not just social media, but dating options at their beck and call. And yet we are noticing that in this particular abundance of options, young ladies just aren't happy. I posted this comment and I did not think that it was going to get as much reaction to the young lady, who I would say she's average, depends on who you ask, but she's just dead set on not dating anyone that's going to be quote unquote in poverty, which these days was probably about average. I remember I used to think women were romantic. Social media ended all of that. That was my response to her TikTok.
At the end of the day, I want to make sure that I approach somebody that I actually like. A lot of people go out and just blamelessly date people for attention. So at the end of the day, you know what you want. Attention, and if you align to yourself, you'll further a lot of them. So at the end of the day, I'm only here to fulfill a need that you already want inside of you. So I'm just saying.
My thing is be honest though. Like if you just want to hook up, just say that. If you want to grow into something, then do that.
Absolutely, but lying is beneficial to a lot of people.
If romantic means suffering through a broke idiot, then I'm out. This is the young lady who wrote the TikTok, and she's basically saying, I don't want to date a broke idiot. It's not romantic.
Liars!
I've been a former liar. I was a Southwest Regional Chair of the Big Back community, also the dating community. But I used to lie a lot, but at the end of the day, I get what I want because I tell the truth. And if that's the case, her name is Jasper. She stays in Pearland back by the Buc-ee's. Okay, she's coming over tomorrow. She knows what it is and she knows what it ain't. At the end of the day, want what you want, do what you have to do, but also tell the truth so you can get access to what you actually want. But
it's interesting listening to the conversation about lying, because if you're in a marketplace where people are in situationships, and it doesn't really matter if you're in a relationship, because the barometer for which you would go out on your relationship and be with another person is the attraction level, then there aren't any rules. And that includes, of course, telling the truth. Tell the truth why. This young lady essentially said, we want you to tell us all you want to do is hook up. Just tell us that up front. Why? It's a no rules game. It's no holds barred. If everyone is in the game to get either dates and have a guy treat them a certain way, or for guys that are participating in it to get the participation that they want from young ladies, there aren't any rules. And it's consuming these young ladies in this preview to Lonely Girl Winter.
Once again, for those American women, especially Black American women who may be upset with you and the whole passport bros movement, how would you describe, would you say all women in America, some women, and are not a good fit for you, not a good choice for you? Specifically, why?
Talking about the dating scene here in the city of Houston and why Houston is listed as one of the worst dating cities in America. And of course, we have our guest here. So Lala, let's go back to a point that you made earlier. You said, if you just want to hook up, say that then. Yeah. Don't pretend like you want to get into a relationship with me. So do you think women will really accept that?
Poverty is not romantic. Men literally call romantic men simps, but expect women to be romantic. How are you going to be romantic and be broke? Flowers cost money, dates cost money, vacations cost money. That's romance. 4 minutes of intercourse isn't romance. What we are seeing in the conversation with Isaiah is that, are these young ladies getting these things from the guys that they're dating? Because in the kind of dating marketplace that we're witnessing these people speak about on the panel on Fox, they're not getting anything close to this from the guys that they deem romantic, or should I say the guys that they deem as attractive?
Give us the option.
Yeah,
Some
give
of
us the
us will,
option, yeah.
at least tell me what it is and give me the option to choose what I want to do.
Right.
The thing is, too, when you meet someone, you got to ask, okay, are you single? Are you married? You got a mad baby mama? What you got going on?
Yeah.
I need to know.
Because like he said, when you start lying, yeah, that's when your car get busted out. You get the gas in it. It's a lot going on.
Or if you don't
Just tell the
ask,
truth.
and then you have it's carrying on, they'll be like, oh, well, you never asked me, and they can be married the whole time. It's crazy.
It's funny listening to these young ladies talk about how guys are not being honest in the dating game. But if you're not in a marriage that was ordained by either your local customs or society or your church or God, whatever, then you're essentially playing in the mud. And the mud is, I'm in this game to get what I want. For some young ladies, they want clout. They want to get treated like a lady. They want to go to nice restaurants. And for guys, those guys might want action. And so if that's the game, how do I get what I want? And you can see that these young ladies are seeing that that game is not nearly as romantic as the quote unquote patriarchal oppressive institution that traditional marriage used to be.
So Zach, but you don't believe that women will be that honest with you as a recovering bad boy. You don't believe they'll say, okay, if you want to hook up, let's just do that.
Absolutely not. And I hate to admit it, but sometimes you got to pretend that you want to be in a relationship to get what you want, because there ain't gonna be. Women are gonna be mad at me, but I tend to disagree with if a guy's like, hey, I'm just trying to hook up. I don't think a woman's gonna be like, all right, I'm trying to do that too.
Some women might all like that though. Some women are like that.
I would.
Some women are like that. They will go ahead and
I remember when I thought males were protectors and providers, so I guess we're all disappointed, huh? Thanks for sharing your feelings, though. We were for a hot minute, but y'all ruined it. I don't necessarily post this to point a finger as much as it's just an illustration to the fact that after all of the gains in social equality or equity, whichever you choose, young ladies don't like the dating landscape that they have.
I have met so many women where I've literally told them, I do not have the capacity for a relationship with you right now. But if I can only be Mr. Tuesday, I will be the best Mr. Tuesday that you have ever been or ever seen. So in my mind, all I'm giving you is my limitation. It's up to you to make that choice.
Right.
Of course.
And a lot of
Exactly.
people aren't really ready for a relationship. They're just ready to be loved, to have their feet rubbed when they come home, to have a home-cooked meal. And at the end of the day, if I send you $60 for lunch on Tuesday, you gonna say no?
No.
Absolutely.
So a situationship.
All I do is provide a solution. That's all.
So is that what that is, Sharice?
That's what it sounds
situation?
like. No title. You got the benefits of it, but no title.
I'm more than the title.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
You want to give, but you don't want to commit.
You want title or you want Tuesday? So
This is interesting because this is an illustration into a dating landscape to where most of the guys who would have been romantic in the past, average guys who found a young lady who was the quote unquote girl next door, he would have married her and given her flowers and did the things that were romantic, if you will. But now, many of these young ladies who are in this free dating market only see the worst in dating. And it's not even winter yet.
pick your poison. You want this 20-inch bust down, or do you want an attitude tonight? Okay,
20 inches.
People don't want to communicate and just be on the same. That's
That
it is.
too.
It's communication, and people don't want to do it.
Did you give it a chance? And how old are you now?
23.
How old?
23.
23?
Yeah.
Man, you ain't giving no damn time.
That's when he lost my ass. 23. 23.
What's funny listening to this back and forth is that it's clear that the guys that are winning in the modern dating market have totally won the dating game, if you want to call it that. Now, there's the whole you might get someone pregnant and the whole disease issue and all of that. But if you don't care about that stuff and you just want to be Mr. Pookie and have your feel of the dating market, this is the perfect market for you. Of course, if you're a guy that's looking for something that's a bit more genuine or just a bit more traditional, there's no incentive to play around in this market. And you can hear the guys, even the reformed Pookie, saying, there are things that I can do to keep getting what I was getting before, but even I know that I can't do that much longer. Just the nature of the new game. A game that Ladies said that they want it. Now you got it.
Like in most
I can agree with
cases,
that,
if
too.
I come to you and say, hey, I want this, if you reject me, now I have to deeply searching what insecurity I have not conquered. So a lot of times the place of truth that I want to step into, I can't do that because you're going to show me why I also hate myself. A lot of times people don't like moving forward into real things because real things have real light.
Did you give it a chance? And how old are you now?
23.
How old?
23.
23?
Yeah.
Man, you ain't giving no damn time.
So, Mr. Solomon, why did you move to Kenya?
I came to Kenya after I started in Tanzania. Tanzania was my first country in Africa. And I was there for 5 weeks and I met some Kenyan women that were on my show and they told me you would love Nairobi. You should visit Nairobi. And I was going to go to Madagascar or Mozambique after Tanzania. But they had influenced me so much and pumped my head up. So I came to Nairobi and the minute I got off the plane, I instantly loved it. The minute I got in the city and I saw how the people were dressed, I saw the people were very social and friendly. The women were beautiful. The food was amazing. The music was a vibe. I'm not leaving. There's no reason to leave. I really have no reason to leave.
It's funny to watch people get what they ask for when I hear on a regular basis on TikTok of young ladies saying we were oppressed in marriage 60, 70, 80 years ago, and that patriarchal institution is something that we needed to be freed from, and now we're free. But on the other side of the coin, you hear ladies lamenting the fact that they don't have the patriarchal marriage that they used to have 70 years ago, and now they have to live a new reality that is quite different from what they see in either movies or what they were hoping for. And it's all leading up to one quite simple point. It's going to be a lonely girl winter. I'm not saying that I'm going to enjoy it or I'm going to see that young ladies are suffering or alone emotionally and take joy in it. But the truth of the matter is, when you're dealing with adults and adults say that they want something, you give them what they ask for. And if they don't like it, that's on them. If you didn't want to get married to an average guy and you think that living in quote unquote poverty, building with a guy while you guys are raising a family together is some sort of oppression, if not, some kind of affront to your personal liberties, fine. Guys are going to get passports. Guys are going to not participate in the dating market. They're going to go elsewhere and you get to live with what you got because that's what you got. Lonely Girl Winter is loading. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, comment below. I'll catch you next video. Take care, guys.